Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Jen Josey. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Jen Josey. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jen Josey, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop. On today's episode, we have a guest that will be sharing their badassery. But before we begin, here's today's badassery bestowment, my little badass gift to you. Today's topic is unleashing your deal-finding superpowers. In real estate investing, finding great deals is the lifeblood of your success. The more ways you can uncover hidden gems, the bigger your competitive edge. Here are 7 badass ways to find deals like a pro. Number 1, direct mail marketing. Target motivated sellers with strategic mailers. Absentee owners, pre-foreclosures, and probate lists are prime targets. A well-crafted letter or postcard can open the door to off-market opportunities. Number 2, driving for dollars. Get in your car or pay someone to get in their car and scout distressed properties. Peeling paint, overgrown yards, or boarded up windows, that's a potential deal waiting to happen. Number 3, wholesalers. Build relationships with wholesalers who find deals for a fee. The right connections can keep a steady flow of leads coming your way. Number 4, MLS and pocket listings. While the MLS is competitive, overlooked gems do exist. Work with investor-friendly agents who can alert you to pocket listings before they even hit the market. Number 5, foreclosures, auctions, and tax sales. Properties in distress can be gold mines. Learn the ins and outs of courthouse auctions and tax lien sales to grab deals before they're gone. Number 6, online lead generation. Leverage PPC, which is pay-per-click ads, SEO optimized websites, and social media marketing to attract motivated sellers. In the digital age, having an online presence is a non-negotiable. Number 7, referrals and word of mouth. The best deals often come from people who know, like, and trust you. Let everyone in your network know what you're looking for. Your next big deal might come from a casual conversation. So, finding deals isn't just about the luck. It's about strategy, consistency, and execution. The more lead sources you tap into, the more deals you'll have to choose from. Stay relentless, stay creative, and stay in badass mode. Now on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. Today, we are diving into the world of home staging and design with Tabitha Peterson. With over 15 years of experience, Tabitha is a powerhouse in home staging, marketing, and sales strategies, helping homeowners, realtors, and developers maximize property appeal and value. As the managing director of Green Couch, one of the San Francisco Bay Area's top staging and home improvement firms, she brings a bold, innovative approach to transforming spaces. Tabitha believes that success isn't about waiting for opportunities, it's about creating them. And today she's here to show us how. It's my pleasure to have her on the show, so welcome Tabitha Peterson. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Jen. It's so wonderful to be here.
Tabitha, it is a pleasure to have you on the podcast. I am on the opposite coast. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, but I know you have great things to discuss, which are so important to our listeners. So we are going to dive right in. Can you give us a little bit about your background and what initially drew you to the staging and design business?
Yes, absolutely. So, like you said, I am here in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's stunning here. I've lived here for over 25 years. I'm from California my entire life, and I bring over 15 years of experience to the business. I started off in new residential development as a project coordinator and kind of worked my way through the ranks, jumped into marketing for a little while, and really found my passion for design in marketing. And through time and relationships, I ended up really leaning into the design world and found myself at Green Couch as the managing director about a year and a half ago. It's
Very
a really
nice.
exciting world. I love making things pretty.
Well, I saw some of your designs on Instagram and oh my goodness, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Everything that you do. So, tell us a little bit about Green Couch. I love the name. Can you tell me where the name came from? I know you didn't create it, but tell me about the history behind Green Couch.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty simple history. From what I've been told, our principal, Jeff Schlarb, was concepting this idea with his partner and getting ready to jump into this staging and design world. And as they were concepting the idea, they were literally sitting on a beautiful velvet green couch. Hence the name.
I love a velvet green couch. There's just something so sexy about them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've actually owned my own velvet green couch, so I'm in the right company at this moment in time, and we still have that green couch, just so you know.
I love it. Wow. Well, Green Couch is known. I'm reading this question here because I'm so excited for this interview. I want to hear about your company, but I have so many other great questions for investors who are listening. But Green Couch is known for its bold and innovative approach. Was there a defining project or moment that set the tone for this brand?
I actually don't know how to answer that one completely. I do know our principal and his partner started off very small. I think they had realtor friends that were in need of services. And so they'd go out, buy all the furniture, and Jeff and his partner were just really great at design. And so the company took off. It started off very small, and now we have a team of over 15 people.
Wow,
And
very
we've been in business for over 22 years. So that says a lot about this company.
absolutely. And I have worked with some not so amazing staging companies. So that is very impressive to be in business that long. So let's dive in for the listeners out there because a lot of my guests are talk about flipping houses or getting properties and doing the burr strategy, things like that. And this is more of like the end and what's going to get us across the line for higher values for our property. And you spend, as a house flipper, we spend so much time getting the property, chase them down. And then you get towards the end when you're getting ready to list it and you're like, oh, can I even afford getting a stager at this point? So please talk to my listeners. How important is it to stage a completed project?
Well, I will say, don't forget the staging line item in your budget.
That is true.
Staging matters. This is like the icing on the cake for people. You spend so much time concepting and building these homes, and this is the piece. If you miss out on this piece, you're missing a lot.
Yes, agreed. And I always, I have that eye. I can walk in and see something and go, okay, the Christmas tree is going to go over there. The lady's going to walk in with her groceries and leave her keys here. I can envision it, but it's amazing to me that so many buyers can't envision things. So, what do you do to make a completed project feel like a home, a very inviting space?
Well, we deal with all types of properties, all types of floor plans, and we're here to solve a problem for investors, realtors, sellers sometimes. Sometimes you have a unique floor plan where people can't envision, where is my headboard going to go in the bedroom? Where's my TV even going to go? We get that question all the time. Well, where does my TV sit? How am I going to eat if there's no dining room? So we're here to help problem solve with the staging. But when it comes to staging, to your point, most people can't visualize
It blows
what's
my mind.
happening. Rooms look smaller, they don't understand when they're walking through the home placement of things. So you need the staging to really bring that vision to life.
And Tabitha, it comes naturally to you though, right? To walk in and go, boom, 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 this is where this is going to go. And I'm the same way. I can see it. So let's talk about funky spaces real quick, because there are some times where there's like, what do I even do with this space? So what are some creative things that you have done to really make a space speak to the buyers?
Yeah. Sometimes we have where maybe there's no view or they don't want people looking at the view. So when you've got that furniture in the home, it brings your eyes inside the house versus looking out the window. We've got an upcoming staging where we're creating a screen because there happens to be a powdered bathroom next to the common area, and the sellers don't want people to see that powder bathroom. So we're coming up with a really fun idea, building a screen with picture frames.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that we're here to help with funky spaces.
I love that. And what has evolved over the years? Because I know you have several years in this industry. What has evolved over time? Because I know we went to open floor plans, and then we have COVID, and now it's like, oh no, now we need our spaces because everybody's working at home. So I know having an in-home office is very important. So how has it evolved over the years?
I will say, I do think that people still love their open spaces, but yes, an office is usually mandatory now, especially here in the Bay Area. We have a lot of tech buyers and owners, and so they do want a place where they can work from home. And then wellness happens to be another big point. So
Interesting.
the fresh air, the lighting, scents, eco-friendly products, things of that nature,
Huge.
adaptive reuse products. Yeah.
I love all of that. And what about home gyms and things like that, or home theaters? Are you seeing more of those, or?
We've definitely seen a lot of home theaters over the years, playrooms, media rooms, things of that nature. But yes, absolutely gyms, whether it's the yoga mat, sound places to do a sound bath, meditate,
I love
yoga,
that.
Peloton bikes, all of that.
I love that. Tabitha, thank you for sharing all that. All right. So, as a house flipper, I was always taught to pick designs that are, or finishes, I should say, for the masses. And I'm so glad we're done painting every wall gray. Thank goodness for that. But I was always told don't go too overboard with your design because you're going to start limiting your buyer's pool. So, what are some simple ways with through staging to add that high-end look without breaking the bank?
Sure. So when it comes to staging, we do a really great job with beautiful furniture pieces. We might layer it to give it that really luxury feeling. We bring in live plants. We have a program where all of our plants are live. What we'll also do, we have an in-house artist. So if you've got that fabulous wall in the entry that really needs a statement piece, we will custom create a beautiful canvas specific for your home, which is really, really cool.
Wow.
Our team also helps with improvements. So right now I'm really leaning into the paint color, which is Pantone color of the year, Mocha Mousse.
Ooh, I'm writing that down. Mocha
Yes.
mousse.
I always get excited when Pantone comes out with their color of the year. This year I really am leaning into it.
What wasn't a weird one recently? Was it last year? Was that like a rose kind of color recently? Am I
Uh,
imagining
I,
that?
I don't recall.
Okay, I'm completely imagining. Or maybe it was like a joke on social media or something.
Our team is very creative and they're very good at working with whatever's existing and then still transforming and creating that special moment. So we work with every style, every type. We've seen it all.
Well, we're focused on dealing with investors, where investors go and they flip houses, et cetera. But you also, a large part of your job is working with homeowners. And how hard, how hard is it when their taste is, oof, yeah, decades old, and for you to go in and politely say, oh, we're just going to change this and this. And how does that work? How does that conversation go?
Yeah. So we've got a fantastic team of project managers that really deal with this on the daily. We've also worked very closely with the seller's realtor. So sometimes it's teamwork where the realtors making their suggestions because they know how to get the best bang for their buck, or they'll lean on us and say, we really need you to come in and be the one to tell them. So but we're here to support on a budget. Sometimes they don't have much of a budget, which is always great. But there's always little tweaks that can be done, whether it's the light fixtures, whether it's just focusing on the kitchen or the bathrooms. We always recommend go for the kitchen. People want to see a refreshed kitchen. They want to see a refreshed bathroom. If you're only going to do one bathroom, do the primary bathroom. And sometimes it's like the flooring. If you've got the carpet that looks really bad, super dated, maybe it's time to rip that out, put in some hardware. Or I'm sorry, hardwood flooring. Hardware flooring, same thing, whatever.
So I don't have the patience to deal with homeowners, which is why I really enjoy flipping houses. I buy them. I made my husband get his real estate license because I'm like, I just don't have the patience for it. So I think that takes a very unique personality and to do that. And so, all right. Big question here. What are your thoughts on virtual staging?
Well, I think virtual staging worked very well in the beginning of COVID. You needed it during that time. As of now, though, no. People need furniture in the home. They have to see what they're walking into. I think that a lot of agents sometimes will try and go that route. It's cheaper, saves the homeowner money, but the follow through and the connection, there's a miss there.
It's the whole
So,
tangible aspect of it, walking through a property and having it there on site. And I feel like it looks a lot, some of it is good, but, or well done, I should say, but most of it looks super cheesy. I'm like, ugh, goodness. Can't you at least pick out some nice pieces if you're going to
absolutely.
virtually stage?
Yes, the reality of it all is it was a nice idea. It was useful for a moment in time, but the physical furniture and staging really helps seal the deal for potential clients.
Absolutely. So, what are the biggest mistakes real estate investors make when trying to sell or rent a property? This is a quick lob to you. They
Well,
don't.
obviously they missed the staging. If they missed
Exactly.
the staging, they've missed the mark.
Yes. If they are running out of money, and what's the minimum they should do at least?
Yeah. So on occasion, we get requests for a partial.
Okay.
So we will come in and do whether it's just the common areas of the house and the primary bedroom. Sometimes that's just enough to hook potential buyers and really help them see the vision. We always recommend the full, but sometimes a partial is needed on occasion based on budgets that we're working with.
All right. So if it's a vacant property and they literally cannot afford a real stager, what are some just simple items they can purchase and then hold on to just to kind of hold them over? I know we're totally going against everything green couch here, but this is just a little nugget for them that minimum they should do.
Sure. Well, it's that entry into the common spaces, right? So your living room, dining room. The problem with that though is you might take that sofa to your next property and the living room's a different size. So
Right.
scale matters. Scale really matters. So it might work for a couple of your homes if they're similar in size, but you take a small sofa and then try to put it in your next property that's got a big living room, and all of a sudden it eats up that sofa and that small rug that you bought.
Well said. And a lot of times, speaking of sizes, just you need a small kitchen table in this area to make it feel bigger, but then it just swallows it in a larger dining room area. So I agree 1,000%. And I appreciate you honoring my questions there because I am with you 1,000% that you absolutely need to stage properties. It evokes emotion with the buyers to want. I can imagine myself sitting here on this chase lounge and reading a book underneath this gorgeous chandelier or whatever it is. So I think it adds that emotion to it. So ROI, let's talk about that. What do you see as the difference here in the return on investment by hiring a stager to do your property?
Sure. Recent example, we staged a home. beautifully, and it sold in 2 days for $100,000 over asking. So talk about ROI, right? We like to work very closely with the realtors. Obviously, it has to do with how the home presents on its own, how the realtor's pricing it, what their marketing strategy is, and then finishing that with beautiful staging. So you get all those things in line, and timing of the market, right? So you put all those together, and ultimately you want to build a recipe for success. So we're a piece of that puzzle.
And a very important piece. So what about outdoor spaces? Do you ever stage outdoor spaces?
Yes, we actually have a lot of homes here in the Bay Area that
I'm
have
sure out
beautiful
there.
yards.
Yes.
So we do. We'll bring in with another vendor that we use. We'll bring in all of the outdoor furniture, additional pots and plants, things of that nature. So we will do everything, soup to nuts, to make that home fabulous. If we need to go out and buy a new foosball table for the game room, we're getting that foosball table.
So speaking of that, do you have buyers that say, I love everything about this house, I want to buy the furniture too? Have you
Yes,
sold whole houses of furniture?
we have.
Wow.
We have, because we do get a lot of buyers up here that are moving from somewhere else, and they say, I just want all of this. The thing, though, that sometimes they think that they're going to get a discount on the furniture. That's not really the case, because we still have the full cost. We have to replace
Of
everything. A
course.
lot of that furniture has been lightly used. There's shipping, there's tax that we're paying. So usually, and then there was all the sourcing that we had to do. And we're dealing with like long lead times now with furniture. So there's not just showrooms everywhere that have these fabulous sofas to pick up or rugs. So sometimes we can say, yes, we're going to sell it to you. Here's the price. Sometimes we say, we're happy to source this for you and work with them on whatever lead time that is. So we always do our best to say yes and accommodate as much as possible.
Very good. And that I was like, I wonder how they do that. And I'm glad you make them pay for everything there, because that is true. But so many people have sat on this sofa. Yeah, well, we had to move it here. I get it. And now we have to replace it. So
Yeah.
well
We
said.
got to make it a win for everybody. Right,
Exactly.
Jen?
Exactly. So, having worked in these high demand markets like the Bay Area and LA and Seattle, what market trends are you seeing that investors should be aware of?
Market trends. Well, I will say it's been trending more towards minimal design.
Okay,
Um,
good.
yeah, more minimal design, color drenched rooms, pattern mixing is really fun. We've already talked about
Pattern like what? You mean like wallpaper pattern or tile
with the
pattern?
wallpaper patterns, and then you've got fun accent pillows that really kind of complement each other well. You could have a sofa with a pattern or a
Gotcha.
bedspread. Just having some fun with design and patterns.
And
Yeah.
then would you say color drenched rooms?
Color drenched rooms. Yeah, just having very similar colors throughout the room. So you can paint the room a blue, but then you have your different color blue sofa with blue
Got it.
pattern pillows. Color drenching is definitely a trend that we're seeing.
Ah, so I am wrapping up a new build right now. It's a higher end new build, and we are just doing trim, and I literally just 1x4s. It's no longer a lot more decorative, that craftsman kind of look that we did for so long, and it's actually saving us money. Things like fireplaces. I was blown away how much money we saved on the fireplace, because we are doing those long, skinny, super sexy electric ones that have the flames that can change colors and things
Yeah.
like that. And we budgeted 10 grand to run gas line in the chimney and do all, and nope. $600 later, I was like, oh,
Amazing.
I know exactly.
Use it for
So,
staging.
there, well, it's built into we have it framed into the wall now. So other trends. I like that you said minimalism. So what else is for return on investment? If I can spit this out here and say this, but what other trends for as they're designing now to set it up for a high sale later on? So like I like fluted walls. I think that's a super cool trend going on. A lot of times they were doing the accent walls. I feel like those are going away. Are we still doing accent walls, but a different type of accent wall?
I mean, we're painting like entire rooms, not necessarily accent walls.
So, like at my entry, it's like a diamond shape, just pieces of wood,
Mhm.
just as a little statement as they walk in with a nice rich blue, like a gray bluish color. And it's a nice pop, but I don't feel like I'm seeing that a lot in like the parade of homes when I'm going around.
Yeah. Well, and I think what we had talked about earlier too, I think simple is great. I think that paint does wonders. A fabulous light fixture is really helpful. And it's to me, it's all about that entry too. Focus
True.
on what your front door looks like. What are
I
your do you have beautiful address numbers? Maybe it's got a nice backlight to it. Those to me are like, what does that sense of arrival feel like for you and your potential buyer?
Well said. And yes, my door, it was very important that I got a gorgeous door for this property. What do you think about black and white checkered tile at the entrance? I'm totally just to help getting your opinion on this
Yeah.
design.
I mean, I think that that can be very cool and fun. I actually have black and white checkered tile here in my home.
Nice.
Um, it can get very busy and specific. So it really depends on who your demographic is, what you're targeting, and is that going to create excitement or is it going to create too much busyness?
So well said, Tabitha, because I was always taught you got to design for the masses. And
Yes.
I think it's so classy looking just to have a pop of that checkered board coming in at the beginning. And anyway, so thank you because it's going to save us money by not doing that as well.
Okay.
And last one on this, because again, this is all about me right now, Tabitha, is
Yep.
wallpaper. Are you seeing a lot more wallpaper? Is it, I mean, I know everyone's seeing more wallpaper, but what are some mistakes in wallpaper?
So we don't deal a lot with wallpaper, but I can tell you just personally, I love wallpaper. I
Okay.
think people are really enjoying a lot of patterns and colors. Our principal loves putting wallpaper up on ceilings.
Really?
Yes, paint the walls, put the wallpaper up on the ceiling. I mean, it's just stunning, stunning. With a beautiful light fixture, it really creates a wow moment.
Oh my goodness. Do you happen to watch the flip off?
I do not, but it sounds like I should.
It's Tark Almusa and Heather, his new wife, and they are battling against Christina, his ex-wife, and they are each flipping a property. But Heather put wallpaper on the ceiling in one of the episodes, and everyone was like, "Nobody puts wallpaper," and she's like, "I love it." And anyway, so I am so glad you said that because I really did like. I thought that's a statement piece. I thought that was really cool.
It is a thing, and I think you can go really bold and have a lot of fun with it.
Tabitha, oh my goodness, I could talk to you for hours. So, all right, let's get back to the actual interview here and not talk about my project. So, what is next in staging from, say, like new services or design strategies? What's coming up next?
So we are always trying to keep our finger on the pulse. Our principal, Jeff Schlarb, always says we want to be leading edge, not bleeding edge. So we do a lot of what's current, but I am always thinking about what is next. We don't always want to be the first to do something, but you never know. Things could be changing around here. I really think that sensorial design is a big deal for people. And let me explain what that means.
Like, what is it?
Lighting, senses,
Oh, gotcha.
things like that. So we've actually started working on a program this year where we're helping out our realtor community. We fill the fridge and kind of fridgescape it with natural sodas, sparkling waters, flat waters. We'll fill it from top to bottom so the agent doesn't have to bring anything in and you open it up and it looks gorgeous and it's ready to go. We've partnered with a really amazing oil diffuser company. So we bring in stunning bottles of oil diffusers and leave those in the home. We also add music now to our home. So we will bring in a speaker with an MP3 that already has playlists set up. Because what I've found is realtors are on their phone, they're walking, they're doing this. Someone calls them, the speaker that they've set up with the music from Spotify now goes away. So we're always trying to create a problem solve how to be really good partners for our realtors, for our sellers, our developers.
I love all of that. I would not even think, because I was a former music teacher, and music is very important to me. And it's just that little ambiance in the background where it's that nice extra added touch. And the smells are huge. Gone are the days where my mom was a realtor 1,000 years ago, and she used to bake cookies, like have the
Yes.
smell of chocolate
Yes.
chip cookies in there. And I think one time she burned them. So that did not go well for the open house. But
Backfired.
well, Tabitha, this is fantastic. And if we have listeners that maybe just have questions about staging ideas, I do have some stagers in my network that maybe they have questions for you as well. How can they get a hold of you to discuss staging?
Well, come to our website at greencouch.com. Like I said, we're here in the San Francisco Bay Area. We service all throughout the Bay Area. We would be happy to come meet you and chat, walk through the home, answer any questions.
And so I did read something with Seattle and LA. Where did that even come from for my questions?
That was previous experience, work experience that I had. Yeah, we're just in the Bay Area for now, but you never know. We could be expanding one day.
That is great. And that's a beautiful area to be. So, Tabitha, thank you for sharing all your badassery. That was amazing. And we are going to move to the second part of the podcast here, which is what makes you a badass. And I use the acronym BADASS. And the first letter is B for book. What's a book that's made a huge difference in your life?
So I would say The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's by Stephen Covey. And I know that was written in 1989, but it was probably one of the first books that I read that really like inspired me. He talks about personal growth, collaboration, and then just continuing to improve yourself. So I really like leaned into those 7 habits and I still apply those today.
I own that book. I've never read it. I'm awful. And
Open it
it's
up. It's great.
I mean, it's probably from the 80s is how old this copy is too, but I grabbed it. Anyway, I need to get on it. All right. The first A in badass is for advice. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice that really holds true, I think about it every day. There are 2 ways to be happy: change the situation or change your mindset towards it. And I really, really, lean into that daily.
So when somebody cuts you off in the car, how do you handle that?
I'm actually pretty cool when I'm driving. So, but if you ask my wife, she'd have a whole different response how she would respond. So,
Or getting behind that one slow person in the grocery store. I try to be all nice and sweet, but I'm like, just move it already anyway. So yes, and that is great advice, Tabitha. Thank you. All right. The D in badass is for drive. What drives you to be successful?
I would say transformation drives me. I am always looking at what can I improve on? What can I learn? How can I grow? But then I also think with our business at Green Couch, we transform homes every day. And so what a perfect career choice for me to be in with transformation.
Absolutely. And again, your designs are ridiculous, gorgeous. All right. The second A in badass is for aspiration. I'm a big goal setter. So, what is a goal you are currently working on?
A goal I'm currently working on is to play more. This year, 2025, is a year of play for me. Work will always be here. Responsibilities will always be here. So
Yes, they
I'm
will.
pulling out my leopard roller skates more and I'm having more play.
Leopard roller skates, not even what are the ones in one roller
The
blades.
inline,
Roller
yeah.
blades, yes. That's the last thing I had, but I was a great roller skater. And I think it was two stripes back when I think that was the cool skates to have when I was a kid. But leopard print is gonna be a very close second up there. I love that. All right. The first S in badass is for systems. What systems do you have in place to help you achieve success?
So I was thinking personally, but then I was thinking Green Couch wise. Within Green Couch, I will say this: our team is the best. I really, really appreciate who they are, how they show up for us every day. And so really it's that team I'm leaning into for this. Personally, what systems do I have in place? I have a pretty awesome family. My wife's pretty cool.
Very good. Yes, I run the business with my husband, and that is the best part of it is being able to work with him, and we balance each other really well. So
Yes.
I'm clearly the looks in the business here, and he's the brains. And the mouth. I guess I would be the mouth as well. All right. Tabitha, you have been so much fun to chat with. And the final S here, again, I could ask you a million more questions, but the final S in badass is for success. What does success mean to Tabitha Peterson?
So over the years, it's definitely simplified, which is great. For me, it's just knowing that I've truly showed up, and I'm going to put that in air quotes. I did the best I possibly could for my family, for my friends, for my colleagues, and for myself. And when I say show up, I'm not talking about idly just showing up. It's doing that mindful act of doing. And yeah.
Huge. I love it. Everything that you said. And for the listeners out there, one more time, what's the best way for them to find you? Or if they live in the Bay Area and want to get some staging done, how do they find you?
Go to www.greencouch.com. We have all of our information to contact us there. We also have a really great Instagram page. If
Yes,
you want,
you
to go to
do.
we do. So it's at greencouch_design.
Thank you for sharing that, because I did not get enough time to spend on it. I was like, oh, it was eye candy, I gotta say. So that's great for people to get ideas from as well. Tabitha, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for being here. And I can't wait to have you on again someday. And we'll talk about how staging has shifted 3 or 4 years down the road. So Tabitha, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Jen.
Absolutely. And that is all. Thank you for listening. We will catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josey by visiting therealjenjosey.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.